Hello, human. Welcome to Digital University, and welcome to my algebra course. I am Professor Lily. Are you ready to learn? Are you a high school student or university student who have forgotten everything about algebra? Don't worry, Professor Lily will teach you human everything you need to know in the fastest way. I'll start giving you with a roadmap to algebra, so you may have a big picture of what we are going to learn. This is the roadmap of what we are going to learn. Pause the video and read all of them, and try to think if you know any of them. Now, I will give you a brief introduction of each topic, and what we will learn in these topics. First of all, operations. The first thing you should start with when studying algebra is the basic operations. You will learn how to add, subtract, multiply and divide numbers, variables and expressions. Understanding the order of operations is also crucial when solving complex algebraic problems. Next, equations. You will learn how to solve equations. You need to understand how to manipulate equations to isolate variables and solve for their values. You will also understand how to write and solve basic one-variable linear equations. After learning basic equations, you will learn polynomials. Polynomials are algebraic expressions that have variables raised to different powers. You will learn how to add, subtract, multiply and divide polynomials. Up next, factoring. Factoring is a technique used to simplify polynomial expressions. You will learn how to factor polynomials by finding their roots, or zeros. This will help you solve more complex equations. Now you will need to understand the highlight of algebra. Functions and graphing. Functions are equations that describe how one variable depends on another. You will learn how to graph functions, identify their domain and range, and understand their behavior. Next, inequalities. Inequalities are equations that describe a range of values instead of a single value. You will understand how to solve and graph linear inequalities. Next, we will learn the systems of equations. A system of equations is a set of two or more equations that need to be solved simultaneously. You will understand how to solve and graph systems of linear equations. At this point, you will learn exponents and radicals. Exponents and radicals involve manipulating expressions with exponents and square roots. You will learn how to simplify expressions with exponents and radicals. Next, we will learn ratios and proportions. Ratios and proportions are used to compare values. You will understand how to solve problems involving ratios and proportions. Up next, advanced factoring. As I mentioned earlier, factoring is an important technique in algebra. You will learn how to factor trinomials and other polynomial expressions in this part. Next, we will learn rational functions. Rational functions involve ratios of polynomial expressions. You will understand how to simplify, graph and solve problems involving rational functions. Up next, advanced equations. Advanced equations involve more than one variable or require multiple steps to solve. You should understand how to solve quadratic, polynomial and radical equations. Next, you will learn systems of equations again. In this section, you'll learn how to solve systems of nonlinear equations. At this point you will learn more detail about graphing. Graphing involves plotting points on a coordinate plane to create a visual representation of a function or equation. You should understand how to graph lines, parabolas, circles and other functions. After learning graphing, you will now learn manipulating functions. In this section, you'll learn how to manipulate functions to create new functions. You should understand how to combine, compose, and invert functions. Lastly, exponential and logarithmic functions. Exponential and logarithmic functions involve manipulating expressions with exponents and logarithms. You will learn how to simplify and graph exponential and logarithmic functions. By this point, you have seen the roadmap of algebra. Secondary students, it is very important to learn the basics of algebra in order to pursue your career in the future. College or university students, recall the learnings that you had. Revise them with Professor Lily. Keep on going, and never give up. After this course, all of you will be able to show off your math skills. Don't forget to subscribe Digital University so you can be registered and learn all the courses you need to learn.